Madeleine McCann disappeared on the 3rd of May 2007. Within 3 days, I was in Praia-da-Luz covering the case. Nearly 10 years on, and her disappearance is still making headlines. This time, following a court ruling in Portugal, Kate and Jerry McCann have launched a fresh legal battle. It centres around a ruling by the Portuguese Supreme Court that Madeleine's parents have not been formally ruled innocent when it comes to their daughter's disappearance. In September 2007, Jerry and Kate were both made aguidos, formal suspects in the case. This status was lifted in July 2008. That same year, the former lead detective, Mr. Gonzalo Amaral, published a book, The Truth of the Lie, which was accompanied by a documentary. It made a number of allegations against the McCanns. Both the book and the documentary were injuncted after the McCanns launched a legal battle in Portugal. However, that injunction was eventually overturned. For legal reasons, I cannot go into the specific details, but Amaral suggests he thinks Madeleine is dead and goes into detail about how he thinks she died the night of her disappearance. Kate and Jerry McCann have always vehemently denied any involvement in their daughter's disappearance from their holiday apartment in Praia-da-Luz and are still seeking to be formally declared innocent.
I can't believe it's been 10 years this year. So why are the McCanns involved in another court case now?
Well, it's come back up again because as part of the libel process that's gone to the Supreme Court, they made a ruling in respect of that, but also talked about the aguido status of the McCanns. And the McCanns have responded back to us today and said that they are now aware of this through their legal representative, and they are they're considering taking action on what is appropriate through their lawyers in respect of this court ruling. It's such a massive story. You know, worldwide, this case has got attention. And even 10 years on, we're still talking about it. And the sadness of all of this is that the real focus is Madeleine, and should always be Madeleine. And sadly, because of all this legal process between Gonzalo Amaral and the McCanns, that distracts us from really what's going on. And the focus has to be the ongoing police investigation by the Metropolitan Police, which is being reviewed financially in April. They're still paying for it. There's some last inquiries that they are looking to do. And the Portuguese police, who are still doing the review. And of course, we must remember, they are leading this. It's not the British police. They are leading this review.
Well, also, there must be an impact on the very basic search.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of mistakes made in the early days. What they're trying to do now is go back over that. And sometimes years assist because people come forward with information perhaps they don't remember at the time or didn't feel comfortable at the time. But this is such a well-trodden story by so many, and it's such a difficult story to tell now because there are so many legal implications in terms of what people can say and what I can say in respect of it, that talking freely about it is really, really difficult.
So bearing that in mind, and this is probably a very difficult question for you to answer, but do you have a theory of what you think happened?
Well, what we do know is on that morning of Madeleine's disappearance, so that night the call was made on the 3rd of May, we do know on that morning that Madeleine went to Jerry and Kate and said, "Where were you last night?" Because we know that Sean and Annalise, the twins, did wake up on days prior to her disappearance. And I think as a result of that, Madeleine was clearly aware that Jerry and Kate were in the tapas bar, which was in the resort. Now, the interesting element of that is in order to get to the tapas bar, you had to actually come out of the premises, walk on a public road to go back in again. And that raises the concern that I have with regards to Madeleine, I believe, woke up in the middle of the night, she went looking for Jerry and Kate, and she left the apartment and came out. And what we do know is the patio door at the back was insecure. It was very warm now. I was there within a matter of days, and it was really, really warm. There was no air conditioning in the apartments, and that back door was insecure.
Legally, we have to leave it there.
Yeah.
But there is a statement, isn't there, from the...
Yeah, they're basically saying they're very pleased that there's an ongoing police investigation. They're hoping that that, of course, will bring up some news. And they still maintain the view that Madeleine is alive, that there's no evidence to say that there's physical harm has come to her.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Just after midday, Sharon has the latest.